Alright, hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and a game and make sure that the audio is recording between Inquisitive's Hawk and Yumiko. Game 2 taking place here on Turtle Rock, and yes, I did in fact say Game 2. If you guys have not been following me on Facebook, I am feeling a bit under the weather, so I'm casting the higher ranked games in this series, hoping that the game is still entertaining. Not going to tell you how many games are really in the series, but yeah, I'm sure you guys can take a look at the numbers and figure it out. I'll probably still label it as 1, 2, 3, but do know in fact that this is game 2. Now, so far we have a barracks, Yumiko spawning as the blue human player at the 11 o'clock position. Meanwhile, Inquisitive Hawk spawning as the yellow human player, and the building placement is actually quite similar. The only difference is actually in the lumber line. You can take a look here. Inquisitive Hawk is just mining with 5 peasants. He didn't look like he was doing that peon trick, or the peasant trick, where you manually pull back and forth your peasants early on to try to get them to speed up. And we are going to be seeing an Archmage coming in from both of these players. Okay, it looks as though, yes, someone did lag out the game, and he will no longer be bothering us, as we do see Militia now coming over. Now, in a human versus human mirror match on Turtle Rock, I don't think I've actually seen all that many. Human versus human, both players have the same options for them. Both players have the ability to call militia and attack or defend. Both players have the ability to just place down arcane towers to stop any sort of water elemental harassment as well. So we'll see if this turns into a bit of a creep war. We are going to... Oh, Wiz has now left the game, even though he was the one letting us know what heroes were being trained and whatnot. So apparently more and more players will be forced to leave the game, as it is always important to make sure that the players are happy. If the players are not happy and not able to play their best, then it obviously makes for a less quality product overall in terms of esports. All right, we are going to see Hawk now, or Yellow, just creeping out here. From now on, I'll just try to refer to them as colors. Yellow now creeping out down here. Meanwhile, blue is creeping out. In terms of creep camp differences, it is just yellow versus green. And it looks as though blue is going to be a little bit behind, but he is going to continue his creeping now off to the north. I do apologize. As I mentioned, I am feeling a bit under the weather, so if I do miss anything, there is the apology. Here we go. Yumiko now dropping in some water elementals once more. Gonna take down, pick up a circlet of nobility most likely. Meanwhile, back over here, we'll see it is Claws of Attack +6, a decent item for that Archmage, as the Archmage does benefit from a lot of extra damage early on, more than a 20% increase in terms of average damage. All right. The two Archmages now maneuvering about. Let's see, are Arcane Vaults constructed? No Arcane Vault yet. We are upgrading to a keep on one side. Hawk not quite there yet, but he does have his Arcane Tower. As we see the Yellow just wandering around a bit in the center. What's happening next? It looks as though Militia are going to try and creep out the Gargantuan Sea Turtles. And this is a very, very aggressive creep pattern. We're going to see 2 of these giant sea turtles taken down in a matter of seconds. And will Hawk be able to creep out this Gargantuan Sea Turtle in time? Meanwhile, the Archmage now trying to come in from the back. Oh, this could potentially be huge. And who is going to get the experience? All right, this could potentially be very, very bad news indeed. Who's going to get the kill? Who's going to get the kill? And yes, Hawk does get the experience there, now dropping some more water elementals, and the additional benefit of a level 2 water elemental over a level 1 water elemental, absolutely huge. Not only does it have more hit points, it deals more damage, significantly so. Average damage on this guy here is 20, average damage on this guy is 35. So you guys don't have to be a math genius to know how much extra damage that is, as Hawk now takes the early lead. Yumiko sitting at 2.5, not gonna be able to do all too much, and we'll see what the follow-up play is coming in from both of these players. The Yumiko now researching defend though, so Yumiko researching defend, and how is Wiz actually talking to us if Wiz has left the game? Anyways, Yumiko does also have an Arcane Vault. Both sides are going to be fighting out here. Another water elemental taken down. I do not believe the Archmage actually got any experience off of that. And still, Hawk wandering around just a little bit. There is one footman sitting off over here, not gonna really have enough units there to try and take it down. Meanwhile, we are going into an MK by Yumiko. One low hit point footman in the back as the Archmage and a really small army from Yumiko now makes a move out. We can see the Archmage is trying to creep out this goblin with this goblin merchant shop. It is not going to work. Instead, we are going to see a little bit of an engagement here, and this is much better for Hawk. Hawk has the superior numbers, double water elementals though, so 2 water elementals coming in from Yumiko with the help of that arcane the lesser clarity potion, adding in a lot more mana, and that is going to help tremendously. Water elemental now trying to back away. It does wake up the creeps just in time, and now we see a bit of an attack. No, it is going to be retreat once more. All right, Mountain King will be popping out. We are going into double arcane sanctums. It will be the battle of the spellbreakers, as the spellbreakers are very effective. The only thing that really destroys them will be knights, and we'll see if we actually get to a castle and then do go into knights. You always need a very, very strong balance. Water elemental now being dropped. Oh, the Mountain King could fire a Stormbolt, and here you go. That Mountain King taking a bit of damage, being forced to retreat. Where is it going to go next? It is going to be backing off here in just a moment, and now trying to slip up here. We are going to see perhaps some units just getting caught in transit, as Yumiko is not in a very good position at all. Let's take a look at Hawk. Hawk is still sitting at tier 1, almost at tier 2. Should be able to get that Mountain King up in just a moment here, as we are seeing a clarity potion, no healing salve or no healing scroll as of yet, as Hawk once again is on the move here. All right, Archmage sitting at 2, Mountain King sitting at 1. Arcane Sanctums now being placed down. Is it going to be enough? Double Arcane Sanctums for both sides. Nothing too big of a surprise, as we are now going into Priest. We are also getting the Adept for the Priest training, meaning that they will be able to have more mana and regenerate mana slightly faster. Okay, the Gargantuan Sea Turtle is going to get taken down, and if Hawk actually gets this item as well, it could be a Potion of Greater Mana, Potion of Greater Healing, or Potion of Invulnerability, though I believe those are the items offered by the Gargantuan Sea Turtle. Am I right? Oh, Tome of Agility and another Potion of Healing. So that is Potion of Greater Healing, 500 hit points on each of those, and that could potentially be huge. Meanwhile, though, Yumiko was able to get his Mountain King and his Archmage closer to level 2 and level 3 respectively, as the Water Elemental is now backing off. Some very nice items on that Archmage though, but will we see a new Mountain King and a new hero? The problem for Hawk is that at level 4, once you get to level 4, it is very, very difficult to continue to creep up and gain more experience. It's actually a little bit more of a favorable position that Yumiko is closer to 3 and 2 than for Hawk to be sitting at level 1 and level 3. All right, Water Elemental is out. We do see some priests now joining in on the fight. We see some creeping now going on. The Gargantuan Sea Turtle will get taken down. Perhaps we will see the Goblin Merchant Shop creeped out over here in just a second. Archmage should be dropping a Water Elemental. There you have it, as the Mountain King is going to be the one getting all the experience. Meanwhile, back over here, the Archmage now sitting at level 3. You can see that Yumiko is actually creeping out pretty effectively. We see a Perupt of Vitality, a very nice item on that Mountain King already. And what item will be left behind? It is a Scroll of the Beast. Not the best item out of all of those locations, as we now see the Gargantuan Sea Turtle doing a little bit of hit and run action. The Mountain King may be able to come in here as well. There's a Stormbolt. If the Gargantuan Sea Turtle does get taken down, we are pretty much even in terms of experience, but no, in comes Hawk, the yellow now, looking to perhaps rain on the parade, and here we have, what are we going to be seeing here? The Mountain King, both sides are trying to fight it out. Oh, there is the roar. Is it going to get taken down? Potion of Healing has been picked up, and who is coming out on top? Both sides taking and dealing a lot of damage here, and there is the Dispel Magic, a beautiful Dispel Magic there, as it takes down 2 water elementals. 2 water elementals get taken down, and now Yumiko coming back with a vengeance, as Hawk sitting at level 3 and level 2 compared to the 3-3 combination of Yumiko and Yumiko's Archmage and Mountain King. So there you have it. That Archmage perhaps wishes he could give a little bit more experience to that Mountain King at this point. We're going to see the Ogre Magi's now getting creeped out, but we can see that the Archmage is already coming in. Spellbreakers, Roar, Priest, all coming together as this Footman is now trying to get away. Spellbreakers are making their way down over here. Footman will get hit in the head with a Stormbolt. Meanwhile, Archmage has picked up a Claws of Attack +9. I believe, yeah, Claws of Attack +9 there as the Mountain King has come in. Archmage and Mountain King, Immolation Aura now given to that Mountain King. Is that Archmage going to be able to get away in time? That is the key question. It looks like it may be forced to use a Scroll of Town Portal. No, it is not. As the Mountain King all trying to escape, there is a Stormbolt on both. The Mountain King doing a great job just standing by and dealing damage here as both sides are still fighting. All right, what's going to be happening? This is not looking good for Hawk at all. Hawk is starting to fall apart. He needs level 3 on that Mountain King to really catch up, and it looks like he will be able to do exactly that, getting to level 3 now. All right, let's take a look at the supply. It is 47/60 compared to 49/54, but it just feels like Yumiko has all of his units more together. Hawk, once again, may lose another unit in transit as Yumiko now setting up a base here. All right, let's see what will be happening next. Mountain King now trying to make its way in. Oh, the Mountain King taking a little bit of mana feedback damage. We can see damage is being dealt. Militia now being called over. What's going to be happening? There's a Stormbolt on a Priest. Priest gets taken down once more. And we see a 4-3 combination versus a 3-3 combination. Once more, Hawk does take the advantage. Here we have it. Yumiko now with the economic advantage. Will he be able to punish this location here? This is not good. Arcane Tower quickly deals a lot of damage. Both sides are going to be fighting it out. Arcane Tower continuing to drain the mana on that Archmage. Not a good fight or a good position to be in at all, as we see a whole bunch of Dispel magic onto the Water Elemental. Both sides are still fighting out. That is the Spellbreaker Wars once more. And what is this Mountain King looking to do? Is the Archmage going to perhaps take another Stormbolt here? The Spellbreakers are backing off. All of these peasants should have been militia. What are they doing? And Hawk making a critical mistake. Unable to engage with the mass militia that he needed. No, he is not trying to engage with mass militia. He is in fact trying to build a town hall, and he will be building it right here in addition to a scout tower as well. Okay. More priests now need to be trained up. Hawk only has 2 priests to keep up his entire army. Meanwhile, 4 priests keeping up for Yumiko. However, those priests are pretty much going to get focus fired rather quickly. Mountain King does have Boots of Speed and Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Both of them also have Potions of Greater Healing. So it's going to be very difficult for Hawk to lose any of his heroes. That additional 500 hit points, oh so strong. Especially when you consider the Archmage only has 525 hit points to begin with. Alright, it looks as though Hawk is pretty much staying one step even every step of the way. And what is going to be happening here as the Mountain King goes to buy some new items? What did he sell? Scroll of Healing is what he purchased. And now we might see an engagement here. Spellbreakers, Footmen, Arcane Tower is now up. And what is going to be happening? And Dispel Magic taking down another Water Elemental. And this is just feeding the experience so quickly. Mountain King, Archmage, level 3, level 3, level 4, level 3 here. And we are going to see that engagement now as the Spellbreakers are battling it out. We do not have the ability to call to arms at this town hall. And we are still trying to battle this out here. Potion, a Scroll of Healing. And what is going to be happening here as the Spellbreaker once again makes a move forward. And this is a bit of a standoff. Yumiko is in a good position because he's actually being defensive while sitting here. He can still mine pretty freely, and he's forcing his opponent to pretty much stay here the entire time. And there you have another Dispelled Magic Water Elemental. Is that giving experience? I do believe so. Yumiko now trying to back away once more. Are the Spellbreakers going to take more damage? I would have thought that the experience would have been given to the Archmage, but it looks like the Mountain King was getting all the experience instead. Yumiko now sitting at 71 over 84, 64 over 72 for Hawk. Hawk is behind here. And we'll see what will be happening now as the Archmage now making a move forward. The Archmage, however, without mana, not in a good position at all. Mountain King unable to Stormbolt any of those units. Stormbolts a Priest instead. There goes one Priest. Priest focused fired rather quickly as we see the Spellbreakers coming back the other way. 1-1 upgrades compared to 2-1 upgrades. And this is a bit of a standoff. Both of these players unable to really execute the strategy or really make any strong move in here. Are we going to see a Stormbolt on the Water Elemental? The Water Elemental is essentially as much experience as a Knight, I believe. I haven't studied experience charts in quite some time. We'll see what's happening here as the Archmage is low on mana once more. There's another Stormbolt. The Priest getting quickly taken down as they are backing off again. Hawk sitting at level 4. And both sides are just massing up critical numbers as Yumiko now finds the time to engage and is doing this exactly now. Alright, the Cloak of Flames has been sold. Hawk now backing off. Another Water Elemental gonna get taken down. All the Water Elementals getting dispelled left and right. And what is going to be happening here as we could perhaps see a thunder, no, not even a thunderclap, as only the bash would be useful. Mountain King, there's a thunderclap, and it only hits a couple of militia, a good handful of militia, in fact, as both sides are now fighting it out. Here we have Water Elementals still trying to engage. It looks as though some more damage will be dealt. Yumiko will be losing a Water Elemental. Perhaps Hawk should take down some of these lower hit point Water Elementals himself, as we still have Hawk sitting on 2-1 upgrades compared to Yumiko's now even 2-1 upgrades. All right, let's see. Mountain King quickly buy some more scrolls of healing, and that could be the difference here as the Archmage now picks up a scroll of healing. Between these two heroes, you have over, I believe, 1,300 hit points of healing. And I believe over 375 or 450 of that would actually be AoE heal. Yumiko now sitting at level 4, so that is going to give Yumiko even footing in terms of mana, as now the Spellbreakers are quickly trying to come in to focus down the tower. Is the tower going to get taken down? No, it is not, as the Archmage takes a little bit of damage here. Once again, here's the engagement. Both sides are fighting, and here we have it. 2-1 upgrades versus 2-1 Spellbreakers, Archmage, Priest. Now both sides still battling at it, as we see those units are backing off this mass Spellbreaker army, as Priests are just constantly getting picked apart. And we can see the Spellbreakers are charging in once more. All right, here you have it. Both sides are fighting it out. Let's see, 80 over 90. Meanwhile, we are seeing that 80 over 84. Both of them now, both of them sitting at low upkeep, the maximum in terms of low upkeep. And they do not want to break that threshold. All right. This is turning into a very, very even fight so far. We can see, nope, no additional research there. Research has been started for 2-2 upgrades. Here's a battle in the center. Water Elemental still being dropped. You can see line after line. Who's going to come out on top? The Spellbreakers are focusing down each other. And this is, oh, a Stormbolt onto the Mountain King. Mountain King, however, not getting focused down as he slips back. Both sides are still fighting it out. Hawk may end up losing a Spellbreaker here. He does have a lot of healing going on. Oh, there goes a Spellbreaker there as Militia now coming back over once more. All right, here there is a Stormbolt. Priest now going to get taken down, most likely. Militia now coming back in again. Are we going to have the Scrolls of Healing being used? Now would be a decent time. There you go. There's one Scroll of Healing. And now backing off again. Let's see, the Archmage still has his. And we can see a Stormbolt now being cast onto the Archmage. Archmage getting Thunderclap, though. And both sides are fighting. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Both sides are still fighting that out, dishing it out, dealing it out, as the Archmage has used his Scroll of Healing as well. All right, the Mountain King, perhaps the only... No, the Mountain King of... Where's the Yellow Mountain King? Yellow Mountain King does still have his Scroll of Healing. He could perhaps use the Scroll of Healing there. And there's a Potion of Healing now being used. Both sides are still fighting. Who's going to come out on top? Stormbolt not coming in, as both sides are pretty much out of mana. Mountain King down to 80 or 87 mana. Will he be able to escape? Both sides have pretty much lost all the lines, as Yumiko, with all of those Scrolls of Healing, has not been able to deal the necessary damage. Let's take a look. 66 over 84, 86 over 90. But it was a forced retreat, so not quite sure who you say the victory can go to. Mountain King, is he going to be able to do much here? As you can see already, the counterattack, the counter move coming in. Yumiko so close. There's the Stormbolt. Potion of healing, potion of lesser invulnerability. Units are backing off already, and both sides are still fighting it out. All right, clarity potion and healing scroll now coming in. Another Stormbolt on another units there, as Yumiko may have chosen the right time with his upgrades to attack, and that's really the difference between these two armies. It was so even for quite some time, but Yumiko is showing why he's one of the best human players in the world. And doing more with less is always something that you need to be able to do. All right, let's come into this. Spellbreakers now making their way over. Let's see. Spellbreakers, Water Elementals now trying to engage. Here's another position. There is some Arcane Towers adding in a bit of damage as well. Yumiko's Water Elemental may get taken down here. No, that Arcane Tower does need to be repaired. No Masonry upgrade though. And as we're still seeing no Masonry upgrades on both sides. 88 over 90. Meanwhile, 77 over 84. Archmage caught in a really bad spot. Scroll of Town Portal needs to get the heck out of there. Is he going to be able to make it out? And it looks like it will just be able to do exactly that. The Arcane Tower dealing a bit of damage. Mountain King, Spellbreakers, both sides still fighting it out. As the Spellbreakers are sitting at 2-1 upgrades. Stormbolt on the Mountain King once more. And this is just a war of attrition on both sides. 5-minute battles with no one really coming out ahead or behind. Classic WarCraft 3, where just the tides do not turn all that quickly. There's a Stormbolt only catching one priest at all, so a Stormbolt might have been better there instead, as the Spellbreakers are still charging in another Scroll of Healing. And I am surprised that no one has gone to tier 3 for Staff of Sanctuary. Staff of Sanctuary would have been absolutely necessary in a war of attrition, as another Stormbolt comes in. Both sides are fighting in, as we now see Militia coming in the opposite way. And here comes the counterattack. More Militia coming in. The Yumiko's Militia is 2-2 upgraded. But how much time is left over? Spellbreakers trying to re-engage. And so many units getting outflanked once more. Yumiko in a better position. And how is Yumiko coming out ahead even though he did not have those scrolls of healing? Okay, there you have it. Level 5 now on the Archmage of Yumiko. Hawk already seeing that level 5. Mountain King getting very close to level 5 as well. Units could just be falling. Not quite sure why. Units are not dying here. Mountain King now getting focused down. A lot of low hit point units running in the backfield. And the Mountain King now able to slip away once more. Mountain King getting the Storm Bolted for all of his efforts. May be forced to pull away again, as we are still fighting it out. Alright, more Disenchant or Dispel Magic. Both sides still trying to engage. Mountain King getting Storm Bolted. Oh, could be the death of the Mountain King. And there it goes. Yumiko now takes the lead. Level 5. A horrible miscalculation by Hawk. And without that Mountain King, things are not looking good. Alright, Water Elemental now getting taken down. In comes the counterattack. However, all the units are in an awkward position. Archmage is now sitting at level 6. He does have double scrolls of or still has a scroll of Town Portal. Are we going to see any of these units perhaps try and engage and back off? You can see multiple sides, and now it looks as though Hawk has a better concave this time, as all the units are coming back around the far side. Hawk does have a scroll of Town Portal. He recognizes when it's time to get the heck out of dodge. He does exactly that and retreats and returns home. Meanwhile, the Mountain King was able to resurrect at the tavern and come in from the far side. Hawk sitting at 56 over 84. Yumiko sitting at 50 over 96. The problem was that Yumiko was sitting at high upkeep for quite some time. And sitting at high upkeep is never a good thing. When you sit at high upkeep, instead of harvesting 14 gold a minute off of 2 bases, you are now instead harvesting 8 gold a minute. A very heavy hit there as a priest gets taken down. Stormbolt to the head. Alright, what's going to be happening next? Spellbreakers now continuing to position themselves here once more. And what is going to be happening? Militia not being called in, not quite yet. Militia are being pushed in by Hawk, as the Spellbreakers are going to just take down multiple units here. Yumiko looks as though he has has a disadvantage now. I take it all back. Hawk, even with 2-1 upgrades, being down an upgrade, but now we have an invisible Mountain King. Invisible Mountain King can always do some nasty, nasty tricks. No arcane sentry for this arcane tower. And without that arcane sentry, that Mountain King will be able to stormbolt that archmage pretty easily. Oh, a disenchant, a random disenchant onto Yumiko's unit there. It reveals the Mountain King, and that was a huge, huge play, as the archmage may not have been able to escape from that. All right, both sides continuing the fight. Not sure who the disenchant was from, but we can see level 5 now on the the Mountain King of Hawk. Meanwhile, level 5, almost level 6 on that Mountain King, as both sides exchange Stormbolts. Both sides continuing this push. Are we going to see more attack, more damage being dealt? The Mountain King now down to 614 hit points. They're trying to push way too far. Mountain King is in trouble. Is it going to be able to get away? I do not believe so. Archmage stays alive ever so barely, but the Mountain King is in a bit of trouble. Is he going to be able to use a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability as well? He's going to try to escape, and he may actually try to come back into this as well. All right, this is not looking good. The positioning is all wrong for Yumiko, even though Hawk does have the hero advantage. What's happening next, as the priests are now coming in from the far side here? All right, priest now getting taken down. Spellbreakers continuing to push off here. Is the Mountain King going to get resurrected at the tavern? All these Spellbreakers need to regroup. Is the Archmage going to be able to regroup with the rest of his army? That is a huge, huge problem now, as the Archmage here is at full hit points and also has a Scroll of Town portal. Spellbreakers now pushing in. This is not looking good. Archmage, Mountain King now trying to push in as well. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Is it going to be able to come out? Oh, Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Is it going to be used? It needs to be used. Oh, down to 95 hit points. Archmage, Mountain King, both sides are retreating. And what is he doing? Hawk, what is he doing? Oh my gosh, what was that? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Mountain King now resurrected. I was dumbfounded for a good 20 seconds there. I apologize. Yeah, I'm still not quite sure what to make of that. It could have been an alt-tab. Our Archmage now needs to get away, and in a hurry. Is he going to be able to get away? That is the question. Mountain King pretty much still out of mana. This Mountain King could have fired a Stormbolt and done something. Mass Teleport, is it going to come in time? There it is. There's the Mass Teleport. The Mountain King now trying to get away, and will be able to do exactly that. Perhaps regrouping back inside his base. Still do not know what to make of this. Archmage now looking to push in here. Archmage of Yumiko is in a bit of trouble, as it may get caught here in the open. Here in comes the Mountain King. Where's the Stormbolt? Oh, both sides are coming fighting. Are we going to see? There's the Avatar of Vengeance. It does mean that he is immune to Stormbolts. Both sides are fighting it out, and the Avatar means that he is currently out of mana. There's a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability as well. Mountain King could try to Stormbolt another unit. This is not looking good. Archmage, where's this Mountain King going to go? It gets taken down. And there is the GG. Hawk losing the game. And yeah, I don't know what to make of that. Even professional players make a mistake, and when they make mistakes, they make big ones. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.